Hello, I'm Brian Tracy, and I want to give you 7 great keys to a positive personality. Remember, a positive personality will have more of an impact on your success and happiness than perhaps any other factor. Now, your physical diet has a large impact on your levels of health and energy. If you eat fresh, healthy, high-quality foods of all kinds and avoid the foods that are bad for you, you'll have more energy, be generally resistant to most diseases, sleep better, and feel healthier and happier. In the same way, your mental diet largely determines your character and your personality and almost everything that happens to you in life. When you feed your mind with positive ideas and information and books and conversations with positive people and audio programs, preferably Brian Tracy audio programs, and positive thoughts, you develop a more positive and constructive personality. You become more influential and persuasive. You enjoy greater self-confidence and self-esteem. Those people who work with computers use the expression GIGO, or garbage in, garbage out. But the reverse is also true. Good in, good out. When you make a clear, unequivocal decision that you are going to take complete control over your mind, eliminate the negative emotions and thoughts that may have held you back in the past, and become a completely positive person, you can actually bring about your own personal transformation. Your job is to be the best you can be. Now, mental fitness is like physical fitness. You develop high levels of self-esteem and a positive mental attitude with training and practice. Here are the 7 keys I promised you to becoming a completely positive person. Number 1 is positive self-talk. Speak to yourself positively. Control your inner dialogue. Use affirmations, positive statements phrased in the positive present and personal tense. My favorites are, I like myself. I like myself. I can do it. I can do it. I feel terrific. I am responsible. This is how top people think most of the time. Now, psychologists say that fully 95% of your emotions are determined by the way you talk to yourself as you go through your day. This is called your inner dialogue. It's the stream of words and thoughts and feelings that course through your day like a river going through your mind. The sad fact is that if you do not deliberately and consciously talk to yourself in a positive and constructive way, you will, by default, think about things that will make you unhappy or cause you worry and anxiety. Remember, your mind is like a vacuum. It will not remain empty. If you don't fill it with positive thoughts, it will fill with negative thoughts, and you know exactly what I'm talking about. Your mind is like a garden. If you do not deliberately plant flowers and tend them carefully, weeds will grow without any encouragement at all. If you don't think positive thoughts and can take good care of them, negative thoughts will grow in your mental garden without any effort on your part. The second key is positive visualization. Now, perhaps the most powerful ability that you have is the ability to visualize and to see your goals as already accomplished. See your life as ideal in every way. The way you do this is you create a clear, exciting picture of your goal and your ideal life and replay this picture on the screen of your mind over and over again. The rule is that all improvement in your outer life begins with an improvement in your mental pictures. And you completely control the pictures that you play on the screen of your mind. As you see yourself on the inside, you will start to be that person with those accomplishments on the outside. The third key is positive people. Your choice of the people with whom you live and work and associate will have more of an impact on your emotions and your success than any other factor. Why? It's because they control your self-talk and your mental pictures. So decide today to associate with winners, with positive people, with people who are happy and optimistic and who are going somewhere with their lives. On the other hand, avoid negative people at all costs. Negative people are the primary source of most of life's unhappiness. So resolve that from today onward you are not going to have stressful or negative people in your life. That one decision alone can transform your thinking. The fourth key is positive mental food. Just as your body is healthy to the degree to which you eat healthy, nutritious foods, your mind is healthy to the degree to which you feed it with mental protein rather than mental candy. Read books, magazines, and articles that are educational, inspirational, or motivational. Feed your mind with information and ideas that are uplifting and that make you feel happy and more confident about yourself and your world. Listen to positive, constructive CDs and audio programs in your car and on your MP3 player or iPod. Feed your mind continually with positive messages that help you think and act better and make you more capable and competent in your field. Watch positive and educational DVDs, educational television programs, online courses, and other uplifting, enriching material that increases your knowledge and makes you feel good about yourself and your life. Did you know that every time you learn something new that you feel can help improve your life, your brain releases endorphins, which are called nature's happy drug, and you actually feel happier? Even before you take action on a new piece of idea, you feel happier that you have learned a new idea in the first place. Now, the fifth key is positive training and development. This is what I love. Almost everyone in our society starts off with limited resources, sometimes with no money at all. Virtually all fortunes begin with the sale of personal services of some kind. All the people who are at the top today were once at the bottom, and sometimes they fell to the bottom several times in their journey through life. The miracle of lifelong learning and personal improvement is what it takes to get you from rags to riches, from poverty to affluence, and from underachievement to success and financial independence. As Jim Rohn said, formal education will make you a living. Self-education will make you a fortune. When you dedicate yourself to learning and growing and becoming better and more effective in your thoughts and actions, you take complete control of your life and dramatically increase the speed at which you move upward to greater heights. Now, the sixth key is positive health habits. Take excellent care of your physical health. Resolve today that you're going to live to be 80 or 90 or 100 years old and still be dancing in the evenings. The way you do this is you eat excellent foods, healthy and nutritious, and you eat them sparingly and in proper balance. An excellent diet will have an immediate positive effect on your thoughts and feelings. Resolve to get regular exercise, at least 200 minutes of motion per week. That's 30 minutes per day of walking, running, swimming, bicycling, or working out on equipment in the gym. When you exercise on a regular basis, you feel happier and healthier and experience lower levels of stress and fatigue than a person who sits on the couch and watches television all evening. Especially in this busy world, get ample rest and relaxation. You need to recharge your batteries on a regular basis, especially when you're going through periods of stress or difficulty. Vince Lombardi once said, "Fatigue makes cowards of us all." Some of the factors that predispose us to negative emotions of all kinds are poor health habits, fatigue, lack of exercise, and non-stop work without rest. Seek balance in your life. Now, the seventh key is positive expectations. Having positive expectations is one of the most powerful techniques you can use to become a positive person and to ensure positive outcomes and better results in your life. Your expectations become your own self-fulfilling prophecies. Whatever you expect with confidence seems to come into your life. Since you can control your expectations, you should always expect the best. Expect to be successful. Expect to be popular when you meet new people. Expect to achieve great goals and create a wonderful life for yourself. When you constantly expect good things to happen, you will seldom be disappointed. Let me ask you a question. Who is the most important person here? Well, the answer is that you are the most important person here. You are the most important person in your entire world. as we get through into November and December, they're going to start playing a movie called It's a Wonderful Life. They've been playing that movie since 1935. And the interesting thing about the movie, we watch it over and over again, is what it does is it shows what would have happened if George Bailey had been plucked out of Bedford Falls and had never existed. And the reason we watch that is because we think, what would have happened in your life if you had never existed? What would have happened to your family, to your parents, to your community? What would have happened to either your siblings? What would happen now if you're grown and married and with children? If you think of the impact that you have had on your world, it's really quite extraordinary. It's like a brick dropped into a pond of water, the amazing ripples that you have accomplished. So you are important. You're terribly important. You're extremely important to yourself, but you're very important to many other people as well. And the reason I ask you this question is because how important you feel you are largely determines the quality of your life. How important you feel you are as a person, as a parent, as a friend, as a salesperson, in every part of your life largely determines the quality of your life in that area. People who feel that they're important and valuable are very, very different people from people who don't. Virtually all of our social, national, economic, all of our world problems come from people who don't consider themselves to be very valuable or significant. Now, psychologists call this your level of self-esteem. It's defined as how much you like yourself. The more you like yourself, the more you like others. The more you like others, the more they like you right back. People who have high self-esteem are more effective in their relationships. The number one correlation between high sales success and any other quality is self-esteem. The more you like yourself, the more you like your customers. The more you like your customers, the more they like buying from you and buying from you again and recommending you to their friends. High self-esteem parents raise high self-esteem children who then grow up and meet high self-esteem children and marry them and give you high self-esteem grandchildren. So how much you like yourself is the critical factor. When you really like yourself, you set big goals for yourself. When you really like yourself, you persist longer in the pursuit of those goals. When you really like yourself, you set high standards. When you really like yourself, you adhere to your values and refuse to compromise. When you really like yourself, you become a superior kind of person. Now here's what psychologists have found, is that there's a reciprocal relationship between the things that you feel and the things that you do. And William James of Harvard said this in 1905, is if you don't feel enthusiastic, the way to generate enthusiasm is to act as if you already were. In other words, we say fake it until you make it. Pretend that you're enthusiastic, and you can't pretend for very long without actually feeling enthusiastic. If you pretend that you're a person with high self-esteem, it isn't long before you start to feel better about yourself. One of the most important things we've learned is that you can talk yourself into feeling. And the most powerful words you can use for that are to say, I like myself. Now, when I first learned this many years ago, I was amazed until I learned there's all kinds of scientific research that says, as we mentioned earlier, is that what you say to yourself with confidence and believe affects your personality. If you say, I like myself, I like myself, I like myself, I like myself, what happens is you start to like yourself. Talk to yourself as though you're a really important and valuable person. Now, here's another thing we find is that if you really like yourself, you manage your time very well, because your time is your life. But the reverse is that if you manage your time really well, you like yourself better. You respect yourself more. The more attention you take to using your time in the very best way possible, the more you like yourself, the more you respect yourself. So when we talk about time management, we find people that don't like themselves are very indifferent to their time. They don't care. They look at their time in terms of days and weeks. They fool around in the morning, fool around in the afternoon. Thank God it's Friday. Go drinking after work. Don't read books. Don't upgrade your skills. Now, what if someone says you should invest in yourself and read and listen and upgrade your skills? You say, no, I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to do that. What are you saying? You say, I'm not a very good investment. I don't really have much of a future. It'd be kind of a waste of time to invest time in me. And it's your own time to invest time in me. So it's better I just sit around, watch television, waste time, because I'm not really worth very much. The interesting thing is the more you like yourself, the higher standards you set, the more you like yourself, the more fastidious you are about the way you use your time. So the wonderful thing is, since you can't change your self-esteem overnight, but you can change some of the actions that you take, what I want to show you is some things that you can do and some ways that you can think through the day that will cause you to improve your effectiveness and efficiency. And what psychologists tell us is that self-esteem and self-efficacy are the flip sides of the same coin. Is the more efficient you become in doing what's important to you, the more you like yourself. The more you like yourself, the better you do. The better you do, the more you like yourself. So you can actually act your way into feeling. You can actually do the things that a high self-esteem, high-performance person would do, and surprise, surprise, you start to feel like that kind of a person. And then it locks in and it becomes an automatic and permanent part of your personality. So one of the things that that started me off on self-development was my belief that each person is here and starts off here, and we all start off in a long road in life. And what happens on that road is largely under our own control. And that what you are capable of achieving is here. And so my feeling is where if you're earning X today, you could be earning 10X sometime in the future, is that you have enormous untapped potential. And that the key there is knowledge and skill. And the key is to move from where you are to where you want to be. When I began to study strategy for corporations, I found that there's one reason for setting corporate strategy, and that is to increase the return on equity, is to increase the return on the amount of money actually invested in the company. It's called an ROE measurement. A return on investment could be money that's borrowed, but return on equity is the actual equity involved. Well, I think your job and my job in life is to increase what is called return on energy, or ROE, return on energy. Now ROE, return on energy, means that your mental, emotional, and physical energy is your job is to increase your rate of return on these three, to increase the percentage. So one of the things we look at, and we say that everyone in life is in business in this sense, is that we trade. And from the time we are old enough to have control of our time, we trade our time for life. And the standard or quality of our life is largely determined by how good a trader we are. How well have you traded your life? And you can tell how well you've traded your life up to now very easily by simply looking around you at the conditions of your life. In terms of your income, your lifestyle, your friends, your position, how high you are in your field, your level of overall satisfaction, that tells you how well you've traded. Now, if you're not happy for any reason with how well you've traded up to now, then your job is to learn how to trade better in the future. And that will be the purpose of our time together. I'm going to give you some ideas that will help you to trade better so that your future can be dramatically better than it is today. Is that a good goal for today? Say yes. And as we learn and practice these things, the most wonderful thing will happen is that your self-esteem and self-efficacy will go up. You'll feel better about yourself. You'll be happier and more positive. You'll achieve more, and the more you achieve, the more you can achieve. Just like we say, the more you learn, the more you can learn, because as you learn, you expand your capacity to learn. The more you achieve, the more you can achieve. The more you like yourself, the more you like yourself. So let's start with this workbook, if you would, and let's turn to the first page. And the first line here is one of my favorites. Dost thou love life, then do not squander time. That's the stuff life is made of. When I was a young man, I had a revelation that changed my life. I had read articles and sometimes books on time management over the years and made some lists and set some priorities and things like that. And I always felt, however, that my life was the sun and that all the different factors of my life were like planets that orbited around my life. And whether that was physical fitness or socializing or work or time management, they were all planets in orbit. What changed my life was when I realized that time management is the sun and everything that I do is the planets in orbit. Everything we do in life revolves around time because time is life. Time is the substance of our life. Is that the quality of your life is determined by the quality of your time management. That everything we have or are or ever will be a direct result of how we use our time. And the wonderful thing is we're always free to choose how we use our time. So the first thought, you've got your workbooks handy. The first one says, time is your most precious resource. Time is your most precious resource. In America today, we have 8.2 million millionaires, most of them self-made. It used to be in the year 2000, we had something like 5 million self-made millionaires. The number has jumped in the last 5 years by 66%. That's the fastest growth rate in history. We have more millionaires in America than all the other countries of the world put together. And here's the interesting thing. Most of them are self-made, which means that most of them started off with the sale of personal services. They started off with nothing but their ability to exchange their time for money. That's how all successful people begin, with very few exceptions, with nothing but your ability to trade your mental, emotional, and physical energies for money with which you do something. So therefore, when you say, well, I like to be rich, but I don't have any money, join the gang. Nobody's got any money. Everybody starts off broke. This is the American history, American culture. Do you know that when the Founding Fathers got together and they designed the Constitution in 1787, they said, let's design a country where a person can start with nothing and achieve success by working hard and producing something of value and becoming an active member of the community. Let's start a country where the average person could come from anywhere and start with nothing and make a great life. And that's how America was designed. Now it's gotten covered up over time, but that was how it was designed at the beginning. So in America, the tradition is that everybody starts off broke. So don't ever say, well, I can't do this because I'm broke. Colonel Sanders was broke at the age of 65 and one of the richest men in America by the age of 75. Don't tell me that you're broke and don't tell me that you're old and don't tell me any of that stuff, because whatever excuse you have, there's thousands of people who've had it worse than you could ever dream of who've gone on to achieve great things.